The first Guild War of the new Guild War format is starting very soon, so let's quickly go over all of the things that you should know about the new Guild War format. First off, the most important thing is that the Guild War reset time is no longer at your server reset time. Since the Guild War is across all servers now, it's going to happen at 3 UTC no matter what your server is. You should probably check what that is in your time zone. For example, for me, I'm in the Eastern time zone, so that's 11 p.m. UDT for me, and that is in about 6 hours. That also means that if you are not aware of this, you should check and see if your buildings are assigned, because if you are not assigned, you will not be able to actually enter the Guild War. Even though the reset time has changed, the Guild War will still be 24 hours long, as detailed in the Guild War revamp preview post. And then for assigning your buildings, there's a couple of things that you should know. First off, every single fortress, there's 3 fortresses, has 1 stronghold and 2 defense towers. The stronghold is the central building, and the defense towers you can see are the little towers here. They're pretty standout compared to the tiny little huts that everyone else has. So your strongest member should go in the stronghold, while 2 slightly less strong members should go into the defense towers to help protect the stronghold. The stronghold cannot be attacked until at least 1 of the 2 defense towers has been destroyed. And this is the same across all 3 fortresses. So you're going to want your 3 strongest members in the stronghold pretty much, with your next 6 strongest in the defense towers, and then everyone else just goes into the little areas on the side. One more thing that you should keep in mind is that the central fortress has slightly more value than the other ones, so you typically want to concentrate your other strongest members in the central one. So your strongest member should probably be in the center, while your second and third should be on the sides. You can also actually shift between it using this part here, which I didn't notice until now. You can see here in the table, it shows the values for the new towers, and the central fortress is just every single building in the central fortress is more valuable than the other ones. Also, you can now leave notes on individual buildings, 1 note per building with a character limit of 100. Only vice captains or the guild leader and people who have actually hit the building can write or edit notes. I assume making it so that captains and vice captains being able to edit it is that the people who attacked it can ask them to edit anything if they need to, instead of having to go change it themselves. And notes will of course be deleted when the Guild War ends. This is nice because, well, a lot of guilds don't really do any scouting, and instead of having like a dedicated like Discord or whatever, you can just put a quick little note on the building. It's a lot less effort. There's also hidden records now when you fight a top 100 ranked guild. You can't see their attack or defense records, and this is just so that you can't scout what the previous guilds used, I assume, because that's what a lot of people used to do. You just check what people used before and just use the same team and hit them, and it made guild wars pretty easy. So I guess this is them trying to limit that a little bit. There's also the resume guild war option now, where if somebody DCs during a guild war, you can reconnect and resume the battle within a set time. I don't know why they changed the set time. The time is half an hour, they stated in the original preview post. And half an hour makes sense because that is the timeout timer on Guild War. If you go into Guild War and you say like you put it down, forget about it, and you come back after half an hour has passed, you'll instantly draw the Guild War. And that's just because the Guild War times out after half an hour. It's a similar thing to like the roping thing that was happening in RTA from a while back, if anyone remembers that. So battles always time out after a certain amount of time, and if you can reconnect within that time, then you'll be able to continue your guild war. So just looking at what they've written, if there's a battle that can be resumed, a message will appear in the guild lobby. I assume this is for the person who is actually DC'd from the fight themselves. Upon entering the guild war mainstream, a message will appear asking if you want to resume the battle, with options to confirm or cancel. And the battle in progress icon will remain on buildings and disappear once the battle ends, even when a guild member disconnects during battle. This is so that you can't overload the building, I assume. There's like a limit of 3 people that can hit a tower at once, and this is just holding their spot, basically. Another really important change is that if a player yields or disconnects before a hero dies, but the enemy has already used the skill to attack, the hero will now be considered dead. Before, you could, let's say it's like you lost a fight, and you want to keep your units alive, you could just yield out, or you could take the attack and see if you're able to live or not, and yield in time before your units died, and you would be able to reuse them for the next fight. Now it's not the case. If they started the skill like what's a big damage skill? Like, I don't know, like if Abyssal Euphina uses her S3 or something on your very squishy target, if that S3 is already started, your unit's dead. You can't save them anymore. So that's something to keep in mind when doing your Guild War attacks from now on. There's also a couple more things to mention. The ranking system for the Guild War has changed a little bit. It now goes from Bronze to Legend, just like Arena and RTA. More importantly, within the 5X tier, which is Challenger and up, and also the top 20% of the ranking, you now also get armbands on top of the Mystic medals. So, which is kind of nice because before, from rank 1 all the way down to the very bottom of rank, or the top 20%, everybody got the same stuff, so it didn't really matter, and it still doesn't matter that much. It's not like a huge amount of armbands, but it's a little bit of something just for having higher ranking guilds. Besides that, there is also the new items in the shop. We have their greater mod gem selection chest for 200 armbands once a week. And then we have the equipment box where you get 3 options and you re-roll it to see what you get. For 500 armbands if you find a piece of gear that you like twice a month. So that is it for the Guild War changes. We'll see how the new system goes. It kind of partially going back to the old system where you had to wait for the fortresses to go down before you could hit the stronghold. Though it's also not as bad, I think, because you can just take down one of the defense towers and then start hitting the stronghold. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, and hopefully if there's any issues, they will continue to improve it as the season goes on.